Okay, so today I present to you what my most optimal igneous hammer roll is, and the reason I'm even making this video is because I tested something out. I've been up on working on the shotgun video for a while, and trust me, it's on its way. I just, need more time. So this is what we get today. The difference between igneous hammers. Now, me as everyone else thought, okay, the new igneous hammer sucks because it doesn't have the same goated rolls as the old one. But this roll right here, of course, you do have to be last guardian standing, and even if you ain't, it's not that big of a deal. And yeah, I have to storm also does take into effect. But when you proc I have to storm and proc a clarity, this thing is going to be a monster. And you can tell I have gone very deep into stability, and I'll show you why in a bit. But I think this is my most preferred role for consistency wise and gameplay overall. And the second one I have to show you is what I'm going to compare it to. And as you can see here, what I have on this is going to be full bore, and all the other perks don't really matter, but what matters is I put the targeting on, and look, it says minus 15 stability. There's nothing built into stability on this one, so actually I can take off the masterwork as well. It's going to be end up at 10. So just remember that number, how low that is, and also has 95 recoil direction. Very important as well. But another one I want to talk about is the quick swapper Hankin, and a bow's best friend, you may say, and this thing is going to feel amazing. The pullout speed on this thing is just insane, and it's going to be really nice. If I wanted to go even further in, I could do this. You're not even going to need to ADS with it. All you have to do is whip it out and, drag it back in. This is definitely a bow's best friend. And then we have this one. I would say these two perks work hand in hand, though. Even though all these perks are cool and quirky in some other way, I would still go with Keep Away, man. This perk is just broken. It's like, the perk will tell you if someone's close to you, depending if you have it up or not. And if you know someone's close to you, then you know there's a shotgunner nearby, because it's within 15 meters most likely, or an SMG player of some sort. So you can react and get out of there if you're tunnel visioned or something. You don't need to un-ADS, because it will say if you have Keep Away active, as long as an enemy is more than 15 meters away from you, which I think is really good. Of course, Rapid is good by itself, but how often is someone going to proc times 5? Not a lot, so times 2 is probably the most optimal to go with. And, once the streak goes, you are going to go crazy. And let's say you get last guardian standing, which, might not happen because this is more of a sexes role, I think. It will be whatever. But let's continue here. Another cool role I would go with if you're playing solar is incandescent heal clip. It's gonna, lead up to you being able to have more abilities and you making enemies explode a lot. And this will work really well with Snap Warlock in general. And I think this is a really funny and goofy role, but not for a daily driver. And then you have this one, the Shoot in the Air. This also works really well on Solar Warlock. And, when you prop heat rises, you get 100, but you don't need to, because you will have 68 at all times, just by having Extended Mag and Icarus Grip with heat rises as your aspect, which I think is really, really, really good. It's gonna never miss whatsoever, which, is kind of crazy. But let me go back to my first one. If I change this out to Golden Tricorn, and I play with, I have Golden Tricorn, and, I get my kill, I proc times 1, or even better, I had someone with Radiant. It allows me to 2-tap after a kill. It's basically kill clip at home. That's what I like to call Golden Tricorn. It's kill clip at home, but it can be even better. Because let's say you proc Radiant, and you get... Okay, let's say this instead. I love to use healing grenades, right? So the only way I can get an ability kill is from my melee. And I get that melee, I finish him up after I got my first Iggy kill, and then suddenly I can headshot body someone. And even better, let's say I'm inside of a well. All I need to do, if they're under 2 Rezo, which you don't see a lot, you can 2 body shot people. I find that kind of funny. But at the end of the day, what matters is the fact that I can, 2-shot someone. Okay, let's keep going though. New Seasonal Hankin is alright. But just remember the stability number you see on all of these. I've gone deeply into stability and not really cared a lot about handling. Because I'm taking into account that I'm using a fitting aspect. And so you're gonna have to take this video a little bit with a grain of salt. Because when I'm on a 120, I like to go all in stability and fuck off with handling. Because a fitting aspect is there to clutch the day. I think a fitting aspect is really strong for this reason in particular. I can choose to get more consistency on my weapons. And the only cost is me putting on the exotic slot. I get incredible reload speed. I get, more handling than, what is usual on a hand cannon just because I picked an exotic. I think that makes my, game to game, every single day gameplay feel better. Of course, I can use other things, but I feel like with the 120, it would be perfect. But notice how I've gone so deeply into stability. Targeted redaction is good if you like to spam all your abilities, so you don't even need something like a fitting aspect in this one. You just can't have abilities up. And let's say you throw a grenade, you get incredible stats, so you just dump your abilities to get an incredible feeling hand cannon. Same with this thing. Of course, you can go more into stability if you want to. It's always the case, but keep away, I feel like, is such a lifesaver at all times. Same thing with pure poetry. The only difference is you can actually get elemental capacitors, so you can go incredibly high in stability on these. Lullaby as well. This is the role I always wanted but never got, sadly. But if you have this role, I would definitely give this a try. Or you can even go with explosive payload to flinch your enemies. This is another daily driver that would work fine. Same with this one, it's the same. The only difference is I think bottom dollar has slightly better stats, which it does. So I would definitely go over bottom dollar over Lullaby. Of course, one of them is a kinetic and the other one is a energy. But then you have steady hand. Sadly, this is unobtainable. But as you can see, it has a perk called Iron Grip, which gives you stability. And you can pair this up with max stability overall. And yes, I will use a fitting aspect with this. So stability overall and handling is going to be completely fine. I will have incredible handling, range and stability with perfect recoil direction because I love counterbalance stock. This mod is so coming clutch so often, I swear to God. Same with True Prophecy. This thing feels like, S-tier. I have this roll and I love it. My bad. This roll and I love it. But then again, I would still say I would probably go steady rounds over it. But yeah, no, drop mag is something else. I wish you could still get it, but they removed it. And then same with this one. But let's go back to Ignis Hammer, because I have something I want to show you guys. So if you have paid attention slightly, you know that these weapons have a different recoil direction from the old one. So let me show you the recoil direction for old Ignis Hammer. First, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you my roll with the least possible handling, with the least possible stability I can get. I don't want you to pay attention to what the gun looks like firing. I'm going to use this wall as an example. So I stand here and shoot the wall. I'm not holding my mouse, I'll do it again. This is pretty significant. Now, let me take, let me max my stability as much as I can. And I want you to see the difference. That's how big of a difference stability is on the old Ignis. Of course, I can go on to the new one and do the same thing. This is my lowest stability roll. It's not as bad as the first one, but, you can definitely notice the weapon itself. It has a kick to it, so it's a little bit hard to control. And then you have my max stability roll. it doesn't move. It literally doesn't move. As much as I want to say I'm holding my mouse right now and controlling the recoil, I'm not. Let me hip fire to show you guys. You can definitely see the recoil a little bit more here. But I'm not moving my mouse whatsoever. So this is insane because this is 95 stability, like I showed you guys in the beginning. And people who think recoil direction and stability doesn't matter are... It's crazy. It's crazy to me that people say that. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this. And yes, I did definitely rip off Kami Cakes because I'm bored, but you get my point. It's... The difference is actually insane, which is why I've been using this. No, not this. Which is why I've been using this as my daily driver. People keep coming at me because they say, oh, you have a controller roll. Why would you ever need so much stability? It's for the consistency. You'll understand it one day. It's for the consistency.